So now that you know how to get into the grocery store, you're aware of the marketing that they're going to be using, I want to talk about creating that smart shopping list. And so how you create that smart shopping list is buying things that you know that your family, your friends, or whoever you live with is going to actually eat. And so get everybody around the table together, everybody that's in the household, and actually write down those menu items that you normally eat. You know, most of us have a few different things we rotate around for breakfast. It's kind of the same for lunch, you know, a few menu items that get shifted around, and then same for dinner. It's not something new every single meal. And so maybe it's broccoli casserole for Wednesday. So you're gonna write down those items that actually create that meal. Say it's Thursdays and maybe you make lasagna. And so again, you're gonna write those items down that actually create those ingredients that you use to make that meal. That way you know you're buying foods that you know how to make, you know that they're going to get eaten because there are household favorites. And so that's how you create that smart shopping list. You can do that in a number of ways. There's some really great apps out there. A lot of grocery stores have their own shopping apps available. And then there's some like My Grocery, which are independent. And most of these you can get on your smartphone for free. A lot of them are really cool, and they allow you to group by section or by department, like we talked about earlier, to get you through the grocery store efficiently. Some of the grocery store specific apps will actually tell you what aisle those items are on. Next, if you just want to go old school, you can just use a pen and a pad, write those items down by department, get through there, checking those items off as you go, and you can use that as your smart shopping list. In this segment, we're going to be talking about some of the updates in the food labels. So if you look at the far left, you're going to see the original food label. In the middle, you're going to see the new food label. And on the right is kind of the cheat sheet. So looking at the original food label and the new food label, you're going to notice something very different. And that's going to be the size and the boldness of the serving size and the calories, which is really important because if you've ever picked up one of those pre-made sandwiches that's cut in half and it's like, oh, well, it's only got 525 calories in it. And then you sit down and you finish the sandwich and you look back at the label and now it's actually 2 servings. Well, that's kind of a surprise that maybe you weren't expecting. And so making that a little bit clearer is a big benefit. Next, we're going to move into the middle section here. And there's one thing in particular that I want you to notice, and that's going to be the added total sugars. And so thinking back to that can of peaches that we discussed in an earlier segment, where you have the canned peaches, but then there's that added sugary syrup. And so if it just says there's 60 grams of sugar on the can, like in the old food label, you didn't know how much of that sugar was coming from the peaches and how much of that was coming from that added syrup. And so now that's going to be labeled there, and you're going to see the difference with those added sugars. Now in the lower section here, we'll pick on iron to be specific, and you're going to notice that here it says 45%, and it doesn't really give you much else information, but here it actually gives you the milligrams, which is really important, because say that you're actually looking to increase your iron intake, and you see a product that says 25% and then 45%, well, it's not really that meaningful of a number. But now that they've actually given you the milligrams, it's a lot easier to track and see how much you're actually getting.